Hey everyone, this is meteorologist Nicole Papay, and I am in the Weather Center now giving you the 11 a.m. update on Hurricane Dorian from the National Hurricane Center. The latest information, the newest storm track just came into us, and as of right now, Dorian has briefly and barely weakened to a Category 4 storm. We are talking a mere 5-mile-per-hour wind difference, so as far as the impacts are concerned, really no different from what the Bahamas have consistently been seeing over the last several hours. I want to take you to some of our graphics here to show you what's new. It is now a Category 4 thunderstorm. My goodness. It is now a Category 4 hurricane with 155-mile-per-hour winds. It is still basically stalled in the Bahamas and staying with a very, very slow forward motion. Hurricane watches and warnings are now out for Florida as it slowly moves westward, but I want to show you just really how intensely large this system is. Outer bands are now on Florida's coast. There you have it. It is moving west near Freeport, Bahamas at a Category 4 strength, 155-mile-per-hour winds. I'll show you here. Just currently we can go a little bit closer. I can stop the clock and just go right in to where this certain eye is right now, just north of High Rock, Bahamas, and just to the east of Freeport. Freeport has been getting slammed for literally 8 to 10 hours with the worst of the wind and rain, and with the circulation, that storm surge is coming straight into this little inlet, and it is inundating parts of the island, including we've had reports out of the airport there. That's about 5 feet underwater. That is literally as tall as I am, completely underwater. So unfortunately, as we continue to watch this system, the Bahamas are still just getting nailed more than 24 hours now after this became a Category 5 hurricane. It is now down to Category 4 strength, and it's expected at this point to hold on to Category 4 strength. Here's a look at the track right now. Not a ton of adjustment to the track. It does look as though it may sneak a little bit closer to the Florida coast, to the north and east, just north of maybe Port Canaveral, the Cape Canaveral area. A lot of cruise ships going in and out of there. Obviously, that's where we launched some of the rockets with NASA, and it looks like right around that area, it may just get a little closer to the shoreline and down to Category 3 status before curving northward and making a very near pass to the Carolinas coastline. So this is going to be a very, very high focus couple of days to see exactly where this storm goes. Let's zoom into this track a little bit so we can get a closer look at these timestamps. Here's the storm right now, Category 4 over what is really the central Grand Bahama Island. That northwestward turn, that's expected to happen between today and tonight, and it will hold about 145-mile-per-hour winds. Now you'll notice that stays Category 4 strength for quite some time along Florida's coastline. Major storm surge already starting to reach those areas of the southern beaches of Florida. As far as Florida is concerned, we are seeing tropical alerts now being put into place. You can see all those in red. These are the Bahamas Islands that are under hurricane warnings. Parts of Florida are under hurricane warnings as well. We'll zoom in here. You'll see this from really Jupiter, Florida, down to the south here through Fort Pierce, through Melbourne, and even through areas of Cape Canaveral under the hurricane warnings at this point. Farther to the north, really just north of Cape Canaveral through Daytona Beach and all the way up to Jacksonville, right to that Georgia border is where we are seeing now hurricane watches. And I would imagine with this storm getting as close as it will to we're actually just getting in new information that the hurricane warning may have actually already been extended. It might take a moment to ingest into our physical system here, but we might actually see that change here momentarily. So we'll wait for that, and we'll talk about that if it happens. But this is what we're expecting, that hurricane warnings as the storm gets closer to Florida's coast will get extended, and then we will continue to look northward into parts of Georgia and South Carolina, which currently do not have the watches or warnings in place. We will likely start to see maybe tonight, but I would say almost definitely by tomorrow to see some of these alerts get put into place. We're also seeing some inland alerts happening in Florida now, encompassing several of the East Coast counties of Florida with hurricane warnings in red there, and then the purple, the hurricane watches. These are areas that are being asked to evacuate, almost being forced to evacuate. So it's definitely something that's already beginning, even though the storm itself is still nearly or almost 100 miles east of Florida's coastline. Wave heights, well, they've been intensifying. We're starting to see a few pockets of orange develop in areas just north of the Bahamas. This is the strongest part of the storm here. Storm surge in those spots are approaching over 25 to almost 30 feet. You get closer to this Florida coastline, it's in the green here. That green range now making it right up to the coastline, and that green is anywhere over 15 feet, approaching almost 20 feet just offshore. A little bit farther to the north, of course, you get into areas of South Carolina. Here we go for Charleston, still in the blue, but getting to the lighter blues now, which means from Beaufort to Charleston, all the way up to almost Myrtle Beach, we're starting to see about 5 to 6 foot waves. And then just offshore, out to sea here, we're looking at about an 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 foot wave beginning. This is all associated with that storm surge that will be pushing off of the circulation of Dorian as we get into the next couple of days. And you can see places that are not impacted on the west coast of Florida out in the Gulf, they're merely down to typical waves, typical surf that you would see there. So to recap really quickly, Dorian currently is now at Category 4 strength. This is the latest update that just came in from the Hurricane Center really just minutes ago, and we have 155 mile per hour winds. It is not expected to re-intensify to a Category 5. It's expected to stay now at Category 4 strength and eventually weaken to Category 3 sometime by maybe late Tuesday night or early Wednesday, and then continue its slow decline in strength as it makes its way up the coastline. We are looking at the South Carolina impacts to be very similar to what we've been seeing in the last couple of days. We're looking at limited impacts here in the Carolinas upstate region, as well as almost to the Midlands. A couple clouds, maybe breezy at times, and this would be around Wednesday into Thursday. You get down into areas of Walterboro, Florence region, all the way down to Ridgeland, and almost to the full coast. We're looking at about 2 to 4 inches of rain there, with wind gusts that could reach tropical storm strength. That would be over about 45 miles per hour. So keep that in mind. Down toward that red zone, there you have it, right along the coast of almost the entirety of South Carolina. 3 to 6 inches of rain there in that red shaded region, up to, if not over, hurricane strength wind at times, which would mean 70, 75 mile per hour winds will be possible in those spots, and then some storm surge coming in on top of that. One of our computer models is pushing about 3 to 6 inches of rain along the South Carolina coast, with the higher amounts from Charleston northward. So it does look, with the orientation of the beaches, that we will see a little less rain down near Savannah and Hilton Head, and a little bit more rain in places like Charleston and Myrtle Beach, and then of course Wilmington, which is a very typical spot in these kinds of developments, to see a little bit more. It just juts out a little bit farther into the ocean. So it's a little bit closer then to the storm's track to see some of that really get quite a bit closer. Current conditions off our shoreline has gotten a little bit more widespread with scattered showers. No major heavy rainfall onshore, but we're starting to see some rain make it onto the coast. And you'll notice this is the outer edges of the influence of Hurricane Dorian. That circulation is pushing ocean water out into areas of the Carolinas now. Both North and South Carolina seeing some isolated rain. Here locally, we're actually looking at really nice conditions. We've got a generally sunny sky. You're going to have highs reaching the 80s today. So locally, we actually look pretty much fantastic. I'll show you very quickly our 7-day planner. We are looking at merely a small chance at a breeze, some cloud cover, and a 20% chance for showers in both the upstate and the mountains by about Wednesday and Thursday, but otherwise highs in the 80s and sunshine. This is where we hope people come who are leaving the coast, because this is where they can ride the storm out in a safe manner and comfortably with the nicer conditions. So we'll get right back to it. Here you have it. Hurricane Dorian has dropped to Category 4 strength now. It is still in the Bahamas, right east of Freeport right now, and it is expected to continue its trek to the west over the next several hours, eventually turning to the northwest to line up along that Florida coast from tonight all the way through about Wednesday morning, before then Wednesday afternoon into Thursday making a pass at the Carolinas. So there is a lot still to come with this storm. We will continue with these updates as you need them, as we get new information in. As far as a position update where the storm is, we are getting hourly updates on that. As far as these bigger updates, the ones that give us, the strength information, the new storm tracks, we're starting to get them about every 3 hours. So make sure that you are staying tuned for all of this. Our Facebook will be constantly updated. Our website, foxcarolina.com, will be constantly updated. And we will also constantly have updates for you throughout our push alert system, which comes through our weather app and our news app, Fox Carolina News and Fox Carolina Weather. So download those to your phone if you want the immediate to your phone alerts that come out. You can choose to turn off the sound. You can choose what kind of alerts you want to get. There's a lot of options in there, but it will give you the latest and most up-to-date information right from us the minute we get it. So lots to have information on in the next few days. Make sure you're staying tuned. And again, we will continue to update you with anything new that pops up between now and the storm's arrival. But again, Carolina impact still a few days away. We're talking Wednesday and Thursday, while Florida will really start feeling the impact by tonight. And hopefully we will see it wind down over the poor Bahamas that have just been dealing with this for about 24 hours now. It's been such a slow moving system, and we'll see that forward speed pick up. So it will not linger in Florida or the Carolinas nearly as long as it was lingering in the Bahamas. Thanks for joining me here right now. I'm going to go update our website and get some other things taken care of behind the scenes for you, but send us your questions, send us your comments, and we will certainly keep you posted over the next several days. Have a good one.